We
All
can't
right.
hear. Bhageshwari, the candidates.
Sir, they won't be on audio. They'll be just dropping their queries here in the Q&A and in the chat because there are a lot of them. So if we start allowing them, so there'll be a lot of chaos happening here.
Okay, but
Yes.
then unless we hear them, we can't answer.
No, I'll be sharing those questions for you.
Okay,
Bhageshri will
fine.
be speaking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be taking all those things. So don't worry, sir. I'll be there to guide you for that.
Okay, fine. All
Yes,
right.
yes. All right. So good evening, all of you, and a very warm welcome to another very amazing session on Shiksha. I'm Bhageshri Gupta, your moderator for this session. And we know topic for today's session is very, very relevant and very, very important. A lot of you have been, preparing for this very important exam, which is JEE Main. And I'm sure we had a lot of webinars in the past, and we plan to come up with more. But I think today, let me just introduce two very eminent panelists we have with us, and it gives us a great opportunity and pleasure to welcome both of them on the same panel together. So we have Mr. Aral Trikha, director from FIITJEE Group. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. I'm glad you could make time for us for this webinar. And Mr. Ramesh Batlish, managing partner and center head for FIITJEE Noida and Greater Noida. Sir has already done a webinar with us, which was amazing, and he addressed some very very interesting questions and queries regarding JEE exam. So thank you, sir. Once again, welcome on the panel.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to all of you.
All right. So without just wasting time, and I'm not going to talk much, I'll just start taking their queries because they're very eager to, get their queries solved. And I know they are busy in preparation for both, boards and JEE. So first thing, of course, like a lot of them, are preparing for JEE, and they're also preparing for their boards exam. So like they're balancing the boards and the competitive exam. So Trikha sir, I would like to start with you. One important tip or suggestion for these students who are balancing two very important exams together.
See, students, now let me tell you, it's very simple. Building blocks, are NCERT books only. Class 11 and 12. 11th is about 45% and 12th is 55%. Now, building blocks are same. Only you have to refine your concepts. You have to learn the concepts. That means whatever you learn in the school, how to apply them to solve the problems, whether it is mathematics, physics, or chemistry. So one is application of the concepts. Number two, in JEE Main, direct application of formulas, very rarely it will be there. If it is there, you are very happy. But it is mainly how to analyze the problem and then apply the concept in a very, slightly different. It is class 12 and JEE Main, hardly there is any difference. It's only a difference of approach. And that means you rota will not do. You have to learn the concepts and then practice.
Absolutely. I totally agree to that. And I'll quickly move to some of the questions. Of course, another very relevant question, Ramesh sir, coming here is they have a very short span of time. And, I saw this similar question. I think, 50% of them has asked this question during the registration also. And even now I could see that like they have a very short span of time. So should they go and revise the whole syllabus, or should they deal with the subjects or with the topics which are untouched till now? What should they go ahead first? Yes,
I think
Ramesh
it is
sir.
very, very good question. But at the same time, let me tell you, the students, what mistake they make. You see, physics, chemistry, maths are like three tires of auto. If there is leak anywhere, any tire is, weak, you won't be able to reach the destination. So it is not that your choice. It is your choice is only how to go to some good institute. So for that, you have to keep all the three tires in the proper pressure. So you have to prepare for all the three simultaneously. And now that you are doing board is not much different. Actually, this is the foundation. Only you have to polish a little more so that you will be able to cross over to some good institute by doing JEE Main. So it is not. So let me what was the question again? Please repeat.
Like it was like how could they balance, and apart from that, if they are preparing, they have a short span of time, so should they go for revision, or should they touch those topics which are untouched till now?
Okay. Now FIITJEE, what we do, We tell the students to join early. Reason being, when you join in class 6, you have lot of time to build up that tempo so you don't put any strain on yourself. Now, when you say 1 month, that means I presume that the student has been serious at least in the school and he has been doing simultaneously a little bit at least of JEE Main. So when you would have prepared for JEE Main, I'm sure you would have prepared some short notes. So now it is not the time to go through each and every page of the book. When 1 month is left, you have to do revision, revision, revision. Then practice, practice, practice. Do a lot of, mock tests, online test series. So that means when you revise, then test whether you have learned properly by appearing in some mock test. Then understand where you have failed. Those shortcomings you try to remove and then come prepared again to do another paper. So in 1 month, the only way you can do it is by revision and flagged notes which you have got. If some questions required a trick, then you should have marked that this trick is required in that question. So if you do that, that is good enough. But if you do some new topic, no, I am not for it. Instead of doing practice on the new topic, what you should do, concepts and formulas at a glance of that topic which you have missed or you have not done, please go through that. At least you will remember the formula, and then the solved questions of that, because you don't have time to practice now. Solved questions of that particular topic, you should be able to see whether past papers or whether mock test papers. That will give you a nice launching pad for such topics which you have not touched so far and where you don't have to spend much time also.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is that's a very amazing suggestion, sir. And I think the students should understand this and start working on this thing, because 4 weeks is a very short span of time, and touching a new topic in these 4 weeks does not make any sense. Ramesh sir, coming to you, I could see a lot of them have been saying that, ma'am, we were like doing our boards exam, we have very less time for JEE, and I don't know how we need to manage it. There's a lot of stress building happening, so they need to get that calm down and understand. So Ramesh sir, what would be your suggestion to all these students?
Well, first of all, I believe students who have been taking the board exams and all those who are science aspirants aspiring for engineering as a career must be serious about physics, chemistry, maths. Because we, as sir has already rightly pointed out, that NCRT is the background or the base of JEE preparation. If you have not done NCRT properly, obviously you can't build that strong concepts in physics, chemistry, maths. So while you have done your board exams right now, you would have already covered the basics of all the important chapters of physics, chemistry, and maths. And in this last 1 month, I also presume that you have been preparing for a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years for JEE as per your potential. So right now you are required to have a complete revision plan, along with complemented with, I'll say, mock tests with test analysis sessions. This is what you need to focus on. Starting with any new chapter or a new book is not recommended at all, because this is going to add up to your pressure. You might lose your concentration, you might lose your confidence, what you have built over the years now. So for my suggestion for those students who have been preparing for a couple of time now is that you prepare yourself using only mock tests, do a thorough test analysis. In case you find certain areas where you need help, talk to your teachers who have been preparing you, seek their help, talk to your seniors, and then improve upon your weak areas. One more important thing is you must develop the right examination temperament, because now it is the time to build the temperament. Now it's not the time to cover the syllabus. So your syllabus is already over. You have to take mock tests, develop the right speed, timing, and see for yourself at where you are going wrong. Why you're not able to cross the barrier. Let's say out of 300 marks, if you're not able to cross 140 or 120, see for yourself where you're going wrong, which subject you're getting, which chapter you're making those mistakes. Identify those loopholes, rectify them. That is where you need to revise right now. If you've already studied those topics at the level of NCRT or let's say JEE Main, you can revise once again, take several PYQs, previous year's questions of the same chapters, from the archives. Generally in FIITJEE, we give the archive to students in JEE Main and JEE Advanced. Students are recommended to follow the archives of JEE Main, solve them. In fact, the last year's JEE Main original papers can be downloaded from the NTA like website, and these papers could be solved by students. So this is where students should focus on at this point of time: developing the right temperament, focusing on your weaker areas, revising what you have written, the handwritten notes if you have, that will be acting as handy for you to revise. So rightly pointed out, formulas and concepts at a glance need to be revised on a daily basis. Students forget formulas, and in JEE Main, formulas play a very vital role scoring and good marks. So that's what I will recommend.
Right, absolutely. And I think all of you who are here attending this very important session, are you just keep noting all the important things that are being discussed here, because these are very important, and trust me, for the last 4 weeks, these are going to work for you. So please make a note of all these important suggestions that is coming directly from the experts, right? Coming to Trikha sir, of course, they want to have or want to know more about like the 4 weeks time management they can have for the revision. For the entire revision thing, how can they divide the entire time and have a very apt, time management plan for this 4 weeks, so that they can cover, thoroughly all the things, nothing is left untouched, and they are confident enough to sit for the exam. Yes, Trikha sir.
See, I think the best way is, what is NCERT class 11 and class 12, the books, that is the starting material. Now, the whatever chapters are there in syllabus, it is already available on the website. So as already I have been trying to emphasize this point, that it is not the time to start the preparation, it is the time to revise. And for revision, the flagged notes and formulas and concepts at a glance given in NCERT books, that is very important, so that you, and then don't be selective. You see, if you want a good rank, see, one is that you can manage in any institute. Second is you want to go to the best of NITs or best of triple ITs or best of CFTI. For that, you will have to do not selective study. You should not leave any chapter. But then I have something for the students, that if you analyze the past few years papers, you will find that there are certain topics which will find more representation. So you concentrate on that. So that means don't leave anything. Other things which are not that important, you can brush up. But where the marks content is more, you go thoroughly in the revision. So for that, I have a recipe that for mathematics, for example, you see, you should go for the algebra, you should go for that quadratic equations, complex numbers, probability, vectors, matrix, like that. This analysis has been done for the past few years. Similarly, this can be, this is already in our articles, it is already mentioned which are the particular chapters you should go, and it is available in shiksha.com also. Otherwise, I can repeat it. There is no problem. So this is the way to approach. Don't leave anything. Then to one very important aspect which Mr. Bartlett told, and I have been emphasizing almost at every opportunity whenever I get it, that JEE Main is speed and accuracy. That's all. If you, what will give you an edge over your competitors or your peers, that will be the accuracy, that means hit rate. So when you do mock tests, try to improve your hit rate. Maybe in the first test you could do 60%. In the next, you should definitely 70%, 80%, and then try to go for a hit rate of 100%. Second, in the examination hall, when you look at the paper, try with easier one, then go to relatively difficult, then go to difficult. That means in stages. First 40 minutes, you should do what you know best. And then the remaining 20 minutes, whatever you have left, that will give you an edge, because you will not be nervous. You will get enough confidence when you have done the questions which you find easy. So that is a mistake which children make. They get busy with one question and then take it as a prestige issue to solve it, and they find that 20 minutes are gone. Whereas on an average, you should give only 2 minutes.
I think that really sums up well, like what kind of time planning all of you. I think a lot of you had the same question. So I think sir has answered that already, that how you can plan your entire time and how can you divide your time for the subjects, right? Okay. A repeated question that I could see here is, which PYQs are more important now? Is it 2019 to 2022 or is it 2002 to 2018? Ramesh sir, if you would like to answer that.
See, this is slightly, I will say students should not confuse between the PYQs of previous, because PYQs does not mean that, previous year's questions will not come. First of all the questions are relevant. We should focus on the chapters instead of, the years. So here, even the questions of 2019-20 and even 21-22, both will be relevant. It's just like how well you have mastered the topics. You can pick up previous years 2 years down the line. Yes, it's not recommended to go for AIEEE papers now because the certain topics have been changed or maybe added or deleted. So current last 2 years will make sense because we had 4 rounds of JEE Main last year. So sufficient number of papers are available even in last year. So even if the students are able to solve 2020-21 papers, that will be more than enough. And apart from the original papers, they can solve the mock tests we have just now recommended. So students should not worry which year. Just take a handful of papers and try to solve. The most important thing, again, I'm emphasizing, is test analysis. So whichever papers you take, check for your timing. And one thing sir just now spoke, and I would like to emphasize again, timing of questions is very, very important. So if you want to score marks to secure a good rank for getting a seat in the top NITs, so you have to secure more than 180 plus marks out of 300. So that will ensure you get a good branch as well in the top NITs as well. So here you need to balance your time. I'll not say manage, you have to balance your time, follow the right strategy for attempting the questions.
Right.
So 4 minutes is an average time for a student, but if you have developed the right speed, perfected it to 2 minutes or maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes, so that's where you can create a difference. You can improve your rank drastically. So students are advised to solve at least 15 plus questions in every subject, 45 plus, so that you stand a chance to secure 180 plus marks. So that's where you can get a difference. And if your speed is good to 2 minutes, you can easily cross 220 plus marks out of 300. So, and the toppers definitely would have perfected a timing to less than 2 minutes as well in certain subjects like chemistry. So they can solve more number of questions. In fact, they could solve all the questions in a particular subject. So there they can even score full marks. We have already seen in JEE Main, students have secured full marks in JEE Main. So as sir has already said, it's an exam of speed and accuracy. So here, if you have worked upon your speed, if you worked upon how being accurate, proper selections of questions in the first round, and then moving ahead to the second round with the moderate and difficult ones, you stand a chance to have a good rank, and definitely you're going to solve all the questions. So right selection of questions in the first round and going ahead with the second round with those questions which required a bit of calculation. Now, one important thing I would like to add over here, this year numerical based questions will also have negative marking. So students are advised to be careful, not make wild guesses, and work seriously towards attempting the right questions.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. And just adding a part to the same question, again, a very similar repeated question is, this point of time, they want to know, should they revise theory? Should they give more time to mock test, or should they go for PYQs? Like, out of all, on which they should concentrate more for the last month?
Should I answer this?
Yes, sir, please.
So PYQs, as I've just now spoken, the last 2 years is more than enough. 29, so 1920, just take year 2020, that year PYQs, and 2021. So these 2 years, consecutive years, PYQ is more than enough. But yes, these two will not be sufficient because you have still time left. So after completing these PYQs, you continue with mock test papers. And mock test papers, at least you should take 3 to 4 test papers in a week, or maybe alternate days. Test papers must be taken at the right timings of the exam. So you need to also develop the right biological clock so that you know that you have exams from 9 to 12 and 2:30 to let's 5:30. So in that timing itself, you must take these exams so that you are tuned to the examination timings of the exam. So you know that how you're going to do it on the exam. Take these mock tests and similar timings, maintaining the right, you can say, temperament, and that is how you need to prepare now. And the chapters where you're doing a lot of mistakes, these are the chapters you need to revise. Your revision plan should be such that every day you study all the 3 subjects. So what I mean to say is you can divide your day into 3 parts. Let's say morning 9 to 12, 2 to 5, and 6 to 9. So you study all the 3 subjects on a daily basis, because this is how the right tempo will be built for the final day. On the final day, you'll have a paper which has all the 3 subjects. So you should be studying all the 3 subjects on a daily basis. It's not like 3-4 days consecutively you study physics and 2-3 days you study maths. That's not the right way. Subject to all the 3 subjects should be studied on a daily basis, and tests should be taken alternatively. Test analysis must be following after every test. And in case you find certain chapters where you need a bit of kind of a guidance, you speak to the teachers who have taught you, refer to the handmade notes what you have in handy, the formulas and concepts at glance, and then again take a retest. Once you have taken a test, you have done test analysis, retake a test, removing those kind of mistakes what you are doing in the previous test. That's how you need to go ahead and keep improving your score. Your score from 140 will gradually move to 160, 180, and it may cross 200 easily. So you need to build a temperament. What are the areas? You need to jot down the points where you're losing marks. If it's the speed, then you work on your speed, practicing similar type of questions. If it's the concepts, refer to the concepts, handwritten notes. So you have to see what is that area where you lag and accordingly work on it.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that detailed answer. Also, we spoke about JEM archive, I think. And so one of them wants to know, is this archive enough for chapter-wise questions, or do they need to work on something else? Yes, Trikha, sir, if you would like to answer that.
What is that again? Repeat it.
So just now we spoke about, I think, JEM archive. So students just want to know that is the archive enough for chapter-wise questions?
Okay. Now I think this will answer another one part which I wanted to share when some students asked for which years they should tackle questions 2002 to this one. Now I want to tell you that archives means, just some time back I told that you should practice past question papers. So archives takes care of that. Let us say you start from 2005 when this AIEEE, it became JEE Main. So that there was a change. Now, what is important is that you should master the concepts. So it is not the year which is important. It is the concept which is important, and pattern which is important. That means you see that last 2 years, the pattern has changed. So if pattern has changed, that means if you solve 8 AIEEE questions, it gives you only exposure to one particular type of questions. But now numerical based questions have been introduced. Integer type questions have been introduced in section B. So that requires, subjective concept knowledge. That means you will have to solve it thoroughly to arrive at the answer. So besides the papers, you should do mock test papers, because mock test papers may not have questions which are repeated from the past year questions. So it's a question of getting exposed to various types of questions. More the exposure, the better it is, and your exam temperament also will improve with that.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for that answer. I'll quickly move to other questions. Okay, again, a very similar question over here. This question comes from Mani Preetham. Sir, is it correct to study organic chemistry now without learning in past? Because organic chemistry is more in JEE. So, Ramesh sir, if you would like to answer the student.
See, again, JEE preparation is not about cracking the exam in a week's time. So organic chemistry is again mechanism. So here this requires a lot of concept clarity. So you have to have a clear understanding of the subject organic chemistry, where it starts from. So basics of general organic chemistry must be mastered initially before taking up the chapters of organic chemistry. So here it requires a lot of time. Now that you do not have too much of time, you can only focus on the named reactions. Right? If somebody has not done anything in organic chemistry till now, I'll suggest go with the named reactions. Follow the NCERT textbooks and go through the previous chapters, especially general organic chemistry. And that is where you can unclear your basics through a while. And then important chapters, as we have several times spoken about, the important chapters in organic chemistry, like aryl, alkyl halides, alkane, alkenes, alkynes, oxygen-containing compounds. So these are the important chapters in organic chemistry. So GOC is very important when you start with, and then followed by aryl, alkyl halides, amines, oxygen-containing, you can say carbonic compounds. So here, these are the important chapters. Solve only from NCERT. Do not refer to any other textbooks. And you can see the previous year's PIQs of the organic chemistry questions which have appeared. So there is where you have a clear idea what kind of questions have appeared. So at least you can master 2-3 chapters in this short while. But my suggestion is avoid buying any new books again in organic chemistry. Speak to your teachers in case they could provide a short crash course for you for another 10 days in organic chemistry. That would still make sense. But self-study, venturing into new ideas is strictly not advisable.
Right. Thank you. So I think a lot of you had the similar question. So I think sir has already answered that very well, that what all you need to do for chemistry, right? Okay. I have another question coming up. The student hasn't mentioned his or her name. So he or she wants to know that, the student is facing a kind of big confusion, as in whether they should take a drop or they should go ahead full prepared, for this year, because they're getting distracted, they're not yet prepared well, so they are just in a double mind that should they take a drop and then sit for next year and not go for JEE this year. So Trikha sir, like, there are a lot of similar minds, confused minds. What would you like to suggest them?
See, now it's very simple. What is your dream? If student has a dream to go to one of the best NITs,
Absolutely.
then you see, and if you, and I will never recommend this, that you don't appear in this particular year. Definitely you should appear, because you have already about to finish class 12 and foundation blocks are same. So there is no harm in knowing your level of preparedness. What is your current potential? Now, if you have a dream where the gap is there, you can definitely fill it in the next year by taking a drop. But suppose you get a good institute by luck, then go for it. See, but if you don't appear at all, how you will know where you failed or what was your gap? So I will never recommend that you miss the test. You do appear in the test, whatever may be the level of preparation, then bridge the gap, whatever you have dreamt, where you want to go, and then put in that much labor. You see, one thing is there, practice makes a man perfect.
Absolutely.
Practice only gives you the temperament. The danger is when you take a drop, you become, you get into a comfortable zone and you pose as if you are all knowing. That is the danger, that I already know the subject. Why should I prepare it? I have already learned it. That danger is there. But if you have taken a drop with an idea that you want to get around 260 to 270 marks or even more, then it is worth it.
Right.
So don't go in comfort zone by taking a drop. Drop is meant to go to very high rank.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Another question about here. Okay. They want to know about, like, which are the most important chapters, like from all the subjects, which are the most important chapters that they should really focus more, during these last month of revision time? Which are the most important chapters? Ramesh sir, if you would like to take that.
Okay. So coming to, I'll take it up subject wise. So it's, let's say in maths, as sir also spoke about quadratic equations. If we talk about algebra, we have quadratic equations, complex numbers, probability, vectors, 3D geometry. Then coming to coordinate geometry, we have parabola, circles, like ellipse. In calculus, we have functions, limits, continuity, differentiability, application of derivatives, and definite integral, especially the properties of definite integral. So there is where you can have some easy marks if you know the properties very well. Of course, when we move to physics, we have mechanics, like in kinematics, we have kinematics, like magnetics, electrostatics, capacitors, waves and sound, heat and thermodynamics, modern physics. So these are some very, very important chapters where students should have a good practice. Physics was more about concept clarity. You have done some good number of questions, sound concepts, so they can score some easy marks. In case of chemistry, I just now spoke in coordination, like in inorganic chemistry, coordination compounds and chemical bonding. In case of physical chemistry, electrochemistry, ionic and chemical equilibrium. In case of organic, I told just now, aryl alkyl halides, amines, oxygen-containing carbonic compounds. So these are the important chapters in physics, chemistry, maths, respectively, where students should focus upon. And of course, sir, one thing what sir spoke in the beginning, 45% of the syllabus is of 11th class and 55% of 12th class. So here, this is also the trend in case of JEE Advanced sometimes. So here the focus should be more on the 12th class topics. But yes, of course, you're going to get questions from every chapter. So selective study must be avoided, because if your goal is JEE Advanced later on, however, you need to prepare all the topics. So it's not like, now this is for students who are also preparing for JEE Advanced. So while you're preparing for JEE Main, not restrict yourself to JEE Main syllabi only. Go ahead with JEE Advanced, because you won't get this time again. So in this time itself, you scale up your problem solving ability to JEE Advanced level, so that you do not have to come back to those topics once your JEE Main exam is over. You need to just brush upon the important concepts and then again take mock tests in a similar way for JEE Advanced later. So my advice is scale up your problem solving ability to JEE Advanced level. But yes, right now before JEE Main, focus should be on building the right examination temperament for JEE Main, improving your speed and accuracy for JEE Main. So mock test, whatever you take as of now, should be relevant more for JEE Main. And syllabi I've already spoken about. Revision plan should be in place, and study all the 3 chapters daily. So that's what
Trikasa, would you like to add something to this?
I think more or less that is the chapters you have to, that I'll say physical chemistry, mole concept, that is also very important. And very important part is that in physical chemistry, it is not only theory. More important is you should go for numericals. Numericals, unless you solve them, and you won't get the confidence. Because if you see the questions in the papers, the physical chemistry is nothing but numericals. And as Mr. Bartlett has told, it is even if, and I have also told that selective study will not do, although he has told, and I also agree, that you should lay more stress on these chapters because their share in the paper is more.
Absolutely. Also, a lot of them did not take help of coaching centers or an external institute, and they are giving more time to the self-study, of course, preparing along with the NCRT. So they have the similar question that how they can manage the entire thing on their own. I mean, is it mandatory to take an external help from institutes or coaching centers, or this is something that they can self-study and still crack the exam in, like, in short span of time? Trikha sir, if you would like to tell them.
See, I'll tell you one thing, that in 1961, I appeared in the entrance examination, 1961. And then I did electrical, BTech electrical from IIT Kanpur, integrated course, 1966. I am proud to say I was the only one from UP who qualified, especially Haridwar or this one. And I didn't have any coaching. But now times are different.
Right.
At that time, it was selection. Now it is rejection. So students, my dear students, when I wish you all the luck, please remember one point, that you have to have a cutting edge over others. For cutting edge over the others, what is important is self-study. If you do, when we take class, we tell the students for every 1 hour of coaching, you should devote at least 1.25 to 1.5 hours at home. So if you are missing the coaching, then my suggestion will be go for the best study material, borrow it from your colleague who is having already doing some coaching, good study material. Then you should have that power of concentration. If you have decided that you will do only self-study, I'm sure that your IQ is very high. So you can definitely make it. But wherever you get stuck, you take the help of some teachers, even your school teachers, or some good teachers nearby who are available and who will be ready to help you. Maybe even for some consideration, does not matter. But you can't get stuck up for such an important goal in life. So self-study is definitely possible, but it is not that easy now. It was possible in the time when I appeared in 60s and 70s. Now, for every mark, you have to struggle. And that every mark you get only when you get a good tutor, like, Arjuna had Drona. So if you do self-study, then you should be like Arjuna. You should see only the eye, not the trees, not the colleagues, not the guru. Only aim at that eye of that bird on the tree. So if that kind of a concentration you have, if that kind of a focus you have, if that kind of a belly, fire in the belly you have, please go for self-study.
Absolutely. And also some of you were asking about the chemistry thing. So I think just now, sir has answered that. So probably you can just have this entire video on YouTube. So you'll just go back to the video and you can like watch the entire thing, right? Because let's just move quickly to some more questions and not repeat the similar ones. Okay. Okay. So I have another question from Devdutt. Okay. Can national test abhyas mock test be enough? I think this is name of a mock test paper or a book, something they want to know
As the
about.
Abhyas app is there, where the
Okay.
mock test could be taken. So the NTA has released this particular portal where you can take the mock test. So as we mentioned, the mock test. So you students from remote areas or those who do not have access to coaching institutes, they can download papers from and take mock tests from this portal.
Right. Okay. For general candidate, sir, what is the good score to get into the best NIT?
I think I've already spoken about it. So you have to score more than 180 plus marks for getting good branch. And if you want to have a top branch like computer science from the top NITs, scoring above 200 is recommended. So it's like, it is again the relative performance which will count on the actual day of the exam, which will decide the cutoffs and even the ranks required to get into the top prestigious colleges. But then it's advisable to score above 180 plus and 200 plus marks if you need your desired dream rank and dream college.
Right. Okay, so same again, the stress part, which I could see for Chandu Velpuru. I think he has also mentioned the same thing, like feeling nervous about the examination, not able to focus to achieve a higher rank. I think Ashmit has also mentioned the same thing, cannot concentrate in my studies in the end moment. And the very similar thought I'm sure a lot of them have is getting admissions into a very good college. So that is what is haunting them, and they don't know what to do to avoid such thoughts and just purely concentrate, you know, onto their preparations and revisions. Trikha sir, if you can like guide these students who are like juggling with these kind of thoughts. I mean, I
can
could see a
speak
lot of them.
volumes and volumes on this topic. It is my pet topic. You see, I can tell you, dear students, you don't have to worry at all. You don't lose anything. Number one, why you don't lose anything? Because you have to appear anyway. So my advice to you will be that don't wait for the D-Day when you have to appear in test and get nervous. Every day when you do any question, think you are doing in JEE Hall, where you have to appear for a final paper. So each question when you practice, anytime, any day of the year, you think as if I am writing the exam itself. So that will give you that you will get rid of that exam fear. This is one. Second thing is, you see, if you do a focus study with attention, then even little time is sufficient. But I find I had a colleague in IIT Kanpur who used to read whole night, and when I used to check, he was on the same page. Now that is no good. That means you are thinking something else. So every 1 hour of concentrated focus study needs about 5 minutes to 10 minutes break. Please note it, that whenever you do self-study or you do any kind of a practice, etc., except the paper when you are attempting, you give a break of 5 to 10 minutes for every serious 1 hour study. This is one advice. Second is, you do some asanas, pranayam, and meditation. Meditation, it doesn't mean that you only have to pray to God. Even when you concentrate on solving a question, that is meditation on the question. So that gives you stability, that gives you peace of mind. So after that 5-10 minutes break, either you can utilize to talk to your kith and kin, mother, or you can see some glimpse of some popular, show. Otherwise, best my choice will be to go for relaxation, have deep breaths, and of course, asanas you cannot do anytime. At least there should be 4-hour intervals after food for doing any asanas or pranayam. Meditation you can do anytime. So that means the worry which is eating you will not eat you if you do this, what I am telling you. that give a break of 5 to 10 minutes. Give your auto hypnosis should be there, that nothing can thwart me. Nothing can make me worried. I am developing confidence. While sleeping at night, to say, I am definitely going to scale this JEE Main with very good marks.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think similar questions, all of you, whoever have been like putting up this stress and distraction and focus issues, I think definitely this is a time where you will face this. But as sir has already mentioned and advised what you need to do, so just focus on that and stop thinking about anything else, right? You have to sit, so you have to give your best. So that is why we are doing such kind of counseling webinars to, you know, to give you the right guidance and to help you come out of these problematic situations that all of you are facing. Because we had this questions, I think, for all the exams or all the webinars that we are doing, sir. We are getting 50% questions on stress. I mean, all of them are putting up, be it JEE, be it a law exam, or be it any other exam. They are having this situation that we cannot focus. We are thinking this, we are thinking that. So I think this is a very same kind of situation right now that they are facing, all of them. Okay, another very common
No, I
question.
think just a minute, I'll interrupt you. I
Yes,
remember
sir.
one point, very, very important.
Sure, sir.
You see, a very, very important point. I tell my grandson, who is 16 years, now he's in class 12. I tell him, the way you enjoy a cricket match, seeing the cricket match, why don't you shift your, it's a question of looking at things. You enjoy your study. You see, I am 78 years. And even this day, I am slogging and I can work for 11 hours, 12 hours without getting tired. What is the reason? Let me share, children. The reason is I enjoy my work.
Right.
I enjoy talking to youngsters. I enjoy their company. When I take a class, I enjoy teaching them. So once it is a joy you get, nothing will tire you.
Absolutely.
If you see a Shah Rukh Khan movie, then you feel so elated. The 3 hours are passed like anything. Shah Rukh Khan is not going to give you money. But when you go to JEE, go to good institute that is going to give you money, which is better? Shah Rukh Khan or self-study or focus study and study under a good tutor in FIITJEE or any other good coaching institute? Obviously, choice is second, not Shah Rukh Khan. He is making money at our cost. I advise students not to see IPL at the cost of study. They are making money, taking crores of rupees. What you are getting? Nothing. So it is very important. Attitude is very important. Have a positive attitude and always look at the things from brighter perspective. Don't be nervous. Don't have any negative tendency.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful advice, and it goes for everyone, for each all of us, you know, whenever we are thinking in that way. So that is something we really need to absorb well. Okay, let's just come to some more questions. Okay, some of them are just also asking that we did not prepare well for our 11th and 12th, especially the 11th. So, in any ways, that gonna disturb their preparation for JEE, and they should take some extra care for preparing now, since 11th and 12th did not go well, or since they're already, you know, sitting for their 12th exam. So, what kind of importance 11 class 11 syllabus also holds for JEE? Ramesh sir, if you would like to tell them about this.
See, there are certain chapters in all the three subjects which are relevant and important for not just JEE Main as well as for JEE Advanced. So here, I repeat, when we are talking about the revision plan, you should devote some more time to those topics of 11th class which are relevant and important in JEE Main. And of course, you have to ensure you are side by side going ahead with the 12th class topics, because both chapters will be equally important. But since you have mentioned that 11th class, in case they have forgotten or they need to revise, so you devote some more time for that. So plan your revision in such a way that those chapters which are important and you've forgotten, having more weightage, you give some more time to them. At least ensure the NCRT level questions and the exemplars also of NCRT you can utilize, and then the mock test papers or the previous cues of JEE Main. So you take up those questions of those chapters of 11th class and prepare accordingly, and then move ahead to the chapters of 12th class. So you can bifurcate your revision plan 60 to 40, kind of proportionately. You can divide your time for 11th and 12th. And then once you are confident with those chapters of 11th class, then you should take the full tests and then go ahead with the final revision plan.
So I think a lot of you who had the similar questions. So I think that answers your query, right? Okay. Also, another question from Satwik: how to improve the skills in integration? So, sir, if you would like to just add on to that.
So, the practice makes a man perfect, sir has already pointed out, and integration is such a chapter which requires a lot of practice. So here it's, there are certain chapters in mathematics because I'm a mathematics person. I'll talk more about it. So there are chapters like trigonometry, ratios and identity. There are chapters like integration. So where you need a lot of practice to gain confidence on these chapters. So integration is very simple. If you know differentiation is just the reverse process. So here you need to have understanding about all the differentiation formulas. And when you take up every question of integration as a reverse process, initially the standard formulas, your confidence will be built gradually. Take up NCRT questions first of integration, then move ahead with the exemplars, and then go ahead with the tricky ones. PYQs of integration, if you find the level of questions is not very, very tough, so students need not worry too much about integration for the JEE main level at least, I'll say.
Yeah.
So, but you need to practice sufficiently and devote adequate time. And considering the next 20 to 25 days, I'll suggest at least first 3-4 days you go ahead with integration and differentiation formulas, because this will be useful not just in maths. There will be a lot of questions in physics where you will require the application of integration. So it will help you for both the subjects.
Right. Okay, Tanya has been, sir, asking this question. Let me just take her query. She's saying that she hasn't started her preparation. So she's saying that if she starts now for the June attempt, is there a chance of her selection? And also there is another similar question, like, what happens if they do not fare well in the June and then they're sitting for the advance? So what difference that will make, and will faring well in only JEE advance help them in selection ahead? So Trikha sir, if you would like to take that.
Yes, I can answer it, but one by one. So first question,
Sure.
you tell me, what was the question?
So Tanya is here and she has been asking repeatedly that I haven't started my preparation and I will be starting now. So can I sit for the June exam and like her selection will be done or not? So she wants to
My
know.
answer is same, which I answered sometimes back, that there is no harm in appearing. Although I personally feel if she has studied 11th or 12th well, even if she has not prepared, let us say, for JEE Main or JEE Advanced, then once her foundation is strong and she appears or he appears, you will find that you will be able to attack the questions, because if the concepts are strong, JEE Main is, not that difficult, but JEE Advanced is a different cup of tea, because JEE Advanced, besides the conceptual understanding, your analytical skills have to be very strong. So analytical, and there the type of questions, it's a bouquet of questions. So I will answer that part also. If suppose JEE Main you are not ready, whether you can go for JEE Advanced, answer is again same, that JEE Main, the question type of questions are different. JEE Advanced, the type of questions are different. And now let us say a student who is not good in memorizing, so he doesn't do well in inorganic chemistry, but calculus, which is conceptual nature, the person who is very big zero in rota learning, he is able to do very well here. Same answer for JEE Advanced. If your concepts are very strong, your analytical skills are very strong, then maybe you may do better in JEE Advanced than JEE Main, even with the same set of preparation. If you have finished your 11th, 12th well with conceptual understanding, because there the type of questions in JEE Advanced, it is not only MCQ single correct, MCQ multi-correct is there, then passage-based, comprehensive-based questions are there, then matrix match type of questions are there, then numerical based questions are there. So that means there is a bouquet of questions, different type of questions. Maybe for some people who are not very good at attacking only single type of questions, they find it easy when they find variety of the questions, provided their IQ is high, provided their conceptual understanding is high, and they know, they have the knack of solving the question. Knack, I'm telling the knack of solving a question, which they will do it if they attempt every question from this angle that I am doing for final day. Then all their energies, they will be focused and they will be able to get a solution. Parallel thinking processes. Parallel thinking processes they have to develop. They should develop an approach how to solve a question from more than one type, more than one method. Then, you know, this will automatically, although now the time left is very less.
Absolutely.
Very less.
So Rishabh, I think sir is already mentioning this repetitively, that there's no harm in sitting for the exam, even if you forgot the term 1 syllabus for your CBSE. Sir is already saying that. I think n number of times during this entire session, he has told that there's no harm in sitting for the exam since you have already prepared for 11 and 12. So Rishabh, you can just sit for the exam, okay? That is what sir has been saying repetitively to all of you, because all of you have a similar pattern of questions. So try and do that and sit for the exam, right? Okay. Hina is here, and probably Ramesh sir can answer this. She want to know any easy tips to remember formulae during exam, like how they can connect the formula to a particular question and, you know, easily grab that concept, Ramesh sir.
See, developing shortcuts is again about practice. This is my thinking, right? So I see students developing shortcuts out of their practice. There will be shortcuts told by teachers, but then this is the best way that you develop your own shortcuts. We generally say to the students, because when you have been preparing seriously, you will be developing your own innovative ways of understanding things. And that is where you can remember it in the exam. Somebody tells you, remember this is a shortcut. I don't think so student going to follow or remember that too much. But if you have devised your own methods, you're going to remember that better. So when we teach, we make students solve that question. As sir pointed out, there's not one way of solving the question. There are multiple ways. So we leave it to the students to devise their own way, or connect with any one way which they find it easier. I say this is the shortcut method, but in the exam time, I forget the shortcut and I remember the lengthier method. So that exam time, whichever method leads me to the answer, that becomes a shortcut. Right. So I don't say that follow this method, but yes, concepts and formulas at a glance is one thing very useful at this point of time to remember important formulas. And as you ask me how you can remember the short important formulas, so in every chapter or in every subject there are certain lists of formulas. So compile that list, revise the formulas on a daily basis. Every day revision of formula is important, just like you brush your teeth. We say brush the important formulas. So that's where you have to create a difference. Named reactions in chemistry, several times you need to solve, several times you need to repeatedly write those reactions, write 10 reactions every day. Make it a habit of writing 10 reactions every day. I'm very sure by the 20th day you'll be able to remember all of them. So likewise in formulas of integration in mathematics, write down all the integration formulas on a daily basis for those students who have not been able to remember till now. For the many students, these things would be on their fingertips because they would have been practicing for 2-3 years now. And then generally those who have been seriously preparing for JEE Main and JEE Advanced will not have this practical difficulty. But then those who are starting to think afresh, whether it's right now, should I start preparing for JEE? Now, next what? 20 days time, till date, I have not studied for JEE.
Yeah.
These kind of questions generally come from students who are just running in the rat race without a focus, without a goal. So, as sir rightly pointed out, do not miss this chance of self-actualization, self-analysis, where you stand a chance in this JEE Main without preparation. If you feel that you have the right kind of concepts, you can still appear in JEE and get a good rank for yourself. Concept clarity with focus and with mock tests will help you even ace JEE in this year. So you may get a decent rank, but you may not get a desired rank, right? But your decent rank may not fetch you the desired or dream branch. So here I will advise students to focus on the select topics in case you cannot cover all the topics. Even if you are attempting a handful of questions, solve them correctly. Do not try to be in a hurry to attempt all the questions because there is negative marking. So even if you have scored well, scored a decent score, and then if you feel that you can do really well this time, you were not prepared, then you can think of taking a drop next year. I don't say you should not take a drop. The idea of dropping should be very clear what you wish to achieve.
Right.
What is your dream goal? What is your dream college? What is your dream rank? And you think that by taking JEE this year, you have actually understood what are your loopholes. If you have done that homework, then you can take a drop. And you can take advice of the teachers. You can go to some of the renowned institutes and find out for yourself that where you are, that what is the maximum you can get out of yourself, how much extra input you need to do. And definitely every student stands a bright chance to get a good rank if you have done practice in a regular manner. Concepts are clear. You have understood all the integrities because what actually you are required when you want to clear JEE Main paper 1. You should have mastered all important chapters of physics, chemistry, maths. Develop the right speed and strategy for getting good score. You should have developed a stamina for sitting for 3 hours, getting the right confidence, keeping yourself calm, because in examination, getting panicked or nervous will also spoil your performance. So how you have maintained a positive attitude, how you keep yourself confident and calm throughout the duration of the exam, these are some additional things which also affect your rank, because just syllabus completion is not the ultimate goal. How you put it on the paper, how you extract the best out of those 3 hours and those 90 questions, out of which how well you have solved the remaining questions, these things also add up to your rank. So if you are sure with these things, then you can take up JEE and perform well.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. Okay, Praneeth, I'm taking your question next. How many marks should be scored to qualify for advance for general category? Trikha sir, if you would like to take that.
Yes, I think there has been, it's a dynamic process. There is nothing fixed. Let me share with you what is official. Official is that you have to have individual cutoff. Each subject you should get minimum 10% for just qualifying, 10%. And overall in JEE Advanced, you should have 35%. That means all the 3 subjects together. But then there is a change, a shift. Every year, there may be change in this depending upon the number of students who have appeared and the relative performance. Sometimes this 10% goes to 7.5%. So that means there is, but to get a good institute, you must have at least 50 to 55% marks. See, the topper gets somewhere near 90 to 95%, like that. The history is like that. And if you see the scale down, cutoff is around 30%, 35%. 1 year it was even 20%. So, but it should not satisfy you. That means you are getting selected, you are there in the general CML, you are there in the merit list, but you won't get a good institute. You may get a maybe some engineering college down the line, but if you want to get a good institute and good branch, you must cross that 50% line.
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely. Okay. Mehak, about the anxiety and the stress we have already discussed. You just need to go back and check the entire video. They have explained very well all the tips and tricks that you can follow and keep yourself calm. Abhrunil, we have already discussed about what you should attempt now. Previous year paper or mock test, sir has very clearly and in detail explained. So I would request, if you have missed out, this entire video is there on YouTube. Okay, so you can just go back and check all the answers, pause and watch and repeat. Okay, so this entire video will be there for all of you on YouTube, so do not worry that this is the last chance. Okay, still, if any queries are left, you can always reach out to us. We can help you get connected to the institutes as well. Okay. Okay, Rishabh, I'm taking your query. So Rishabh is saying that he's not confident about cracking JEE Mains, sir. So he's saying that if I don't think I will be able to crack, so can I get into a private college and do my BTech? Is it the right thing? Will I get a right placement? Because he's not really confident that he'll be able to crack JEE. Trikha sir, if you can advise him.
I think in this case, I will say if he is not confident, anyway he should appear. Again, this one is anyway he should appear to know what is the shortcomings. And in the meantime, if he can get an entry into a reasonably good private college, he should again reattempt, and then leave that and join the college or institute of choice. You see here, the mistake, it is, I don't think there is anything wrong with the student. What is wrong is the attitude, and there is a kind of, uncertainty, there is a little worry. And I think once you go to the, you have decided that you want to get this branch and this particular college, leave aside everything. Just play the game of that, that you prepare seriously, be focused, divide the whole syllabus in reasonable number of that what you can handle in every month, every week, even up to the day. Try to finish everything, all the 3 subjects on the same day. Don't get into habit of that I'll reach one subject for 3 days, another subject for 3 days, then you will lose the track.
Right.
So I will not recommend that a person should leave the hope of getting good prestigious NIT or this one just because he is not ready or she is not ready in this particular year. In that case, drop should be taken after appearing in the test to know where he or she stands and bridge the gap with the focused preparation.
Right. I'll just add another question, sir. Abhay has been asking this, and I think some of them might have this question that they're ready for the mains, that they are going to sit for the mains, but not for the advance, like which is after a month. So since they're saying that both our exams have different set of questions, so in 1 month, is it possible, or they should leave advance and only sit for JEE mains? And also, like, if they do not score well in JEE mains, getting a good marks in JEE advance, will that help? So what should be, like, ideally they should do?
See, here is a question of cutoff. You see, around 2,20,000 students get screened in JEE Main. So
Okay.
if you are one of them, you are eligible to appear in JEE Advanced. So I cannot imagine a person who wants to sit for JEE Advanced that he will not be even one of that 2,20,000. So that question is answered. That means you will be, even with this present level of preparation, you should be able to scale JEE Main so that you can take a chance in JEE Advanced.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as JEE Advanced is concerned, since the question of JEE Advanced has also come, let me share some useful tips for the students.
Sure.
That is, number 1, divide the time in subjects. Start with good subject where you have good understanding, you have the confidence after seeing the paper. Don't go for more than 40 minutes in that subject. Switch to the next paper, subject, then next paper, next subject. Then you are left with about, let us say, 1 hour. That 1 hour, you should try only those questions which you think you are nearly confident of tackling. But if there is a black box type of question which you don't know anything about it, leave it, please. There again, I have a lesson to teach, a lesson to tell, that if any question is there, even if you don't know anything about it, if it does not carry negative marking, leaving it is a crime, because you don't lose anything. There is no negative mark. So in JEE Advanced, my advice to students is, do not leave any question where negative marking is not there. Even if you do not know A, B, C, D, maybe your guess may work and you may get the marks. Now, in JEE Advanced, to get marks, don't attempt any question with negative mark unless you are reasonably sure, or you are confident that at least 50% you have the confidence that you will be able to solve it, so that you don't lose the marks.
Okay, let's just come quickly, because we are almost towards the end of the session. So let's just come quickly to some more important questions. So there are certain students who will be like sitting for next year also. So any special tips or tricks for them who are preparing this for the next year?
No, next year it is enough time is there. You can go that whatever we have been telling, Mr. Bartlish and myself have been telling in this. I think students should go through that. And I think you have sufficient time.
Yeah.
You have got about an year. You can divide the whole year very, very beautifully in, the a timetable, which you can follow for all the 3 subjects. And even you don't have to do selective study. But learn, see, the mode which is to be followed for that 1 year is learn, practice, test, revision, and then test again. Learn, first mode, learning a topic, testing yourself, how much you have learned, and practice. After practicing, then how much practice you have done, then do the testing. After testing whatever gaps are there, please remove them, either yourself or through a teacher or expert.
Right, absolutely, sir. Okay, so another question that I could see here is, what is the final document verification after qualifying for JEE, and is there any role of class 12 marks for college selection? Ramesh sir, if you would like to answer this to Beneath.
See, these guidelines are generally released by the Joint Admission Board of the IITs and the NTA respectively. So currently, this considering the pandemic and last 2 years situation, so there has been no weightage given to the board marks. However, even the eligibility criteria has been relaxed. A pass in the 12 boards and I think minimum 60% for the NITs has been the eligibility criteria as of now. So students are still advised to check in the respective websites of JEE Main and JEE Advanced for the final documentation which will be required post result declaration. This document has been released, and this year there is a joint admission board which has been created in consonance with the NTA and the IIT. So students are advised to go through the respective websites for the list of documents. And there's been no weightage to the board exams. Let me clarify that. It's only JEE criteria. Pass percentage in 12 boards is mandatory.
Right. And another issue that they're facing is that like they're sitting for the mock test, and they have been scoring like 180. Some of them have written, but they're not able to score high. Or some of them have also mentioned that I can score like 50 for maths, physics is till 80, chemistry is like 0. So how can we like start working on this so that we can like really have a good
Okay,
score?
I'll give you quickly once again, though we have repeatedly been telling this. Take the paper in 2 rounds. Have a strategy for a 3-hour exam. Take the paper in 2 rounds. In the first round, allocate 40 minutes to the first subject, 40 minutes to the second subject, 40 minutes to a third subject. If an average timing for solving a question is 4 minutes, students should be able to solve 10 questions each from each subject. So total 30 questions in the first round. In the second round, in the first round, I expect students to solve the easier and the moderate level of questions, which the student can quickly grasp. Now, one important thing which students will be interested in knowing, how many times a student should read a question, okay, and when to give up. So it's practically possible that a student should be able to read the question once and maximum twice. If a student doesn't understand the question in 2 rounds of reading, I suggest to leave that question for the current you can say round. And if you have time left, then you can come back to that particular question. So in the next 1 hour, as Raitu pointed out, we should come back to that subject which has more easier number of questions, which you found it relatively easier compared to the 3 subjects. That subject you can tackle more number of questions. Finally, it is the number of questions solved correctly which will count, and not the subject where you have been given more focus. Second round, you try to complete at least 15 questions again. So again, I'll tell you 15 plus 30 in the first round, 45 questions, which will fetch you 180 marks comfortably if you have done this kind of time management. And if you've improved your timing with practice, you will stand a chance to score even 200 and 200 plus marks. So average students I have seen, they have scaled up their scores from 120 to 180 plus easily through proper time management. Students, believe me, if you have done this kind of time management, if you have not been doing it, please understand, follow the time management, what we are telling you. This will help you scale up your marks, because ultimately this will be the strategy required on the exam day. Apart from completion of syllabi, speed is going to matter in JEE Main, right? So have a right examination temperament, proper selection of question, and develop the right speed.
Absolutely. Okay, Rishabh, I'm just taking your last question. So he seems to have a bit of issues. Trika sir, he says that how we choose a better college, is only placement important for any private college? Because his 12th standard was very weak because of his health conditions, and also his family financial conditions are not that good. So how can he
repeat the question, please?
Sir, Rishabh is saying that, sir, how can we choose a better college, as in for a private college? Is placement important? It's an important factor to be considered, because his 11th was very, very weak, sir, because of his health conditions. And he's also saying that his financial conditions of his family is not very good. So he's in a different kind of situation. So how can he go about for a private BTech college?
No, I am afraid here it is the reverse way. If you are financially not sound, then of course FIITJEE has a way. FIITJEE has got certain program like Fortunate 40 for class 8th and 10th students. and it is the whole education is free, provided your IQ is high and your subject knowledge is good. So if you qualify, then we provide the whole education free. Whereas here what is happening is you want to go for a private college where fees are naturally very high. So you will have to shell out a lot of money. So I will suggest in such case that try to remove your weakness, concentrate, even if you have to take a drop, prepare well so that you can go to NITs or triple ITs or even IITs where the fee structure, where fee is manageable for a financially weak family.
Right.
See, the problem is reverse. Suppose somebody wants to go to Manipal. Manipal, you can get admission even without, getting very high marks, but you have to pay very heavily there. Whereas if you want to go to IIT Kanpur or IIT Kharagpur, the fees is hardly any compared to this one. But then for that, you have to perform well. So it is I'm afraid it is the reverse. That means if financially you are weak, then you have to go for that route only, that improve your preparation. Prepare with a focused mind and concentration. Go all out to realize your dream.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, we'll have last 5 minutes because we're already exceeding our time and I do not want to take more of time. So before we take the last 5 minutes of a wrap up, I'm triggering quickly a feedback poll. And I know there are a lot of queries and I wish I could take all of them because I still have a long list of queries left out in my registration that I could not take because of so many queries coming in, because JEE is such an important exam. So meanwhile, you're filling up the feedback poll. This is very important. I request all of you to please fill up the feedback poll. It is very important for us to, get your feedback, and this should reach out if the session was useful. How would you like to recommend these webinars, and what else would you like to see in these webinars? Okay. So meanwhile, you're filling up the form. I'll quickly take some last few queries that I could see here. Okay, so another question, which I'm sure this is again a repetitive thing, that especially at this last month, is it okay to concentrate especially on any of the two subjects if we have to perform well? Ramesh sir is already saying something. Yes, sir.
No, not at all. I will never recommend to focus on one subject. Again, I'm repeatedly telling that study all the three subjects daily in the last few weeks now. So, and complemented with mock tests and test analysis sessions after every test. Discussion with faculty is possible for you because you need to improve every day. You cannot experiment every day. Right. So you have already done that part earlier. Now it's the time only for revision, practice, analyze what has already rightly spoken about earlier. So this is again my recommendation, not to focus on one or two subjects, study all the three subjects daily.
Okay.
Also, I think I will add one thing. I have told what Ramesh ji is telling is very, very correct. But sometimes back only I told it is like an auto. The three wheels, if one is punctured, you won't reach the destination. All the three subjects have to be prepared simultaneously.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree to that. Nothing can be left out. Okay. Sir, any idea for from where they can refer to short notes? I have no idea what short notes they want to, but they want to know from where they can refer short notes for practicing.
These notes have been already prepared by students who have been preparing for JEE now. So handwritten notes are available only with those students who have prepared it through a long duration preparation. In the last minute, you can only take the NCERT books and the exemplars and the mock tests from where you can revise. So revision is from mock tests and not from the handwritten notes. In case you have prepared notes relevant to every chapter in your schooling, you can also refer to those notes, because that handwritten notes will be something which you will be able to extract fast instead of certain thing. But concepts and formulas at a glance after every NCERT, that is also quite handy, and this time you can utilize that for short notes.
Right. And just adding another part to the same question, is coaching institute test series compulsory? A lot of them also want to know that.
I think sir can answer. Yeah.
That's okay. You answer.
Yes, sir, please answer.
I think it is something like, when a student says, I have prepared well, how to know whether he has prepared well or not? True. Very simple. See, I will say, my grandson says, Dadaji, don't have to worry. I have prepared well. So I said, then when I will know whether you are prepared well?
Right.
When you score very high marks in some test. So I already told, learning has to be followed by practice, followed by testing. Testing only will tell you how much you have learned.
Absolutely.
So test series, I am not telling of a particular institute, test series is very important. Very important.
Absolutely.
And today, when so much of competition is there, when it is rejection, test series is all the more important.
Yes.
Mock tests and test series, they are very important.
Absolutely.
To know
I
your
think
level of preparation and shortcomings.
absolutely. I think that works well. And I think all of you know about this. Rishabh, you're like most welcome. So Rishabh has decided to take a drop. So Rishabh, if you find any more trouble, you can like connect with us post the webinar. Okay. I've already shared our website, Ask.Shiksha, and my email ID is there with all of you. So if there are any other issues that you're facing, just try and get connect with us. Probably we can help you and reach out to the concerned institutes as well. Okay. Like already Trikha sir has mentioned there are a lot of programs that they have been doing. So probably you can get connected to them directly, or you can try connect with me as well, right? So I'll try and help you out the maximum I can, right? Okay, right. So you know about the website. I've already shared the YouTube link also. So probably a lot of you might have missed some questions. We are already running overtime, so you'll find all the questions, everything, the entire video is there on YouTube. Just go back to the channel and watch the entire video, okay? Because I'm just sharing it again, okay? Because I think sir has mentioned everything in this particular webinar. He has mentioned everything that you need to do for the last 4 weeks. You don't have to think, just listen to the video, keep a note, and follow the entire tips that both of them have shared. I think you are done and you're ready to go and sit for JEE. Sai, it's already mentioned, but still I'm mentioning my email ID. If you need any sort of help in getting connected, probably we can help you and reach them and connect them, right? So probably can drop a mail to me or just reach out to us on shiksha.com. Okay. So I think before we just wrap up, sir, I think we cannot take more queries. I'm still getting queries, but then we have to wrap up the session, and we'll try, if you really want to have another session, just drop us some feedback. Probably we can try and get hold of more such sessions. Okay. And for the next year also, sir has already mentioned like how you can prepare. You have ample of time. So before we wrap up, Trikha sir, I would like start with you. One last good piece of advice is, though you have been giving such valuable information, I love hearing you. So last piece of advice to all the students.
My last advice will be to my dear children is that never forget that you can do it. Where there is a will, there is a way. You see, students, if they have the right attitude, if they believe in themselves, I told a mantra, very small mantra, that is, while going to sleep at night, hypnotize yourself and tell that I am competent enough. I will do my preparation in such a way that I am sure to be selected, and I am going to realize my dream.
Absolutely. Ramesh sir, what would you like to tell them?
I would like to quote one line from our Honorable Chairman, Sir Mr. D.K. Goyal, who has been telling this quite often. Success is easy, keep it simple. Right. So I believe every student have full confidence in their preparation, believe in themselves, give in their best shot on the exam day, and you will really feel happy about whatever you have done on the JEE Main day. You'll always realize in your life. And JEE is not the end of life. JEE is just the first milestone, I'll say, in your life. So there are many more exams to go in future. Only at least through JEE Main, you'll know the lessons of how to prepare a very competitive exam and what are your strengths and weaknesses, so that you can scale up yourself to the level of achievement which you dream of in the future. Success will be yours ultimately. Feel happy about yourself, feel proud about yourself, and believe in yourself. That will give you a lot of confidence. So all the best from my side for JEE Main and JEE Advanced on the entire FIITJEE team.
Absolutely. And I would like to say that please do not lose hope and confidence. I think both of them have given so much of confidence that I think all of you like should be sitting for the exam and appearing for the exam. Also, if you want to have more sessions, just try and reach out to us. Probably we can have more sessions on JEE. I'll try and fix up some more sessions. But for the next week, we'll be offering you some webinars on CUET exam, which is going to happen soon. So try and attend those who are sitting for CUET exam. Also for NEET, we'll be having a lot of sessions. Apart from that, we'll be going into banking and PO sessions also. So we're just trying to explore more options for you all. We'll also be having CAT prep sessions. So just follow us on LinkedIn. We'll be updating all relevant information, the registration link, and these webinars are free to attend. Let me tell, a lot of you have asked me on mail that is it payable? I have already mentioned it's a free to register webinar for all of you. Just need to register and be part of these webinars. And lastly, Trikha sir, Ramesh sir, thank you so very much. I am sorry I extended 15-20 minutes of your valuable time, but I wish we could work more on this, but we have to wrap up this here, already exceeding your time limits. But then it was a great session. I think I loved hearing both of you along with the students, and I think some very valuable piece of advices and experiences coming in from both of you. So thank you so much for sharing all those things.
Thank you to entire Shiksha team.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. God bless our children. God bless you.
Thank you, sir, and all the best to all the students.